English Leap Podcast
with your favorite teacher.
Hello, everyone, and a huge welcome back to your favorite teacher's English Leap podcast. This is your go-to space for mastering natural English while we chat about the big and small things in life. I'm Mark, and I'm joined by Sarah.
Ha! Okay, quick question before we dive deep and get all wise today.
Oh no, that usually means trouble. I'm ready, though.
It does. All right, everyone listening, imagine this. You walk into a room, maybe it is your very first day at a brand new English class, or maybe you just started a new job and you are sitting in the break room. Everyone turns to look at you. The teacher or your new boss gives you a big smile and says those 5 terrifying words, "Tell me about yourself."
Oh, wow, yes, the absolute classic, the ultimate freeze-up moment. I can feel the anxiety just from you saying it.
Exactly. I swear, every time someone asks me that, my brain just completely empties out. I forget my own name, I forget what I do for a living, I basically forget how to be a normal human being. Why is that question so universally scary for language learners? And honestly, even for native speakers?
It really is terrifying, and there's a very deep psychological reason for that. It's because the question is completely open-ended. There is zero boundaries. It feels like the other person is saying, summarize your entire existence, your history, and your personality in 30 seconds. Go.
Right. And you start panicking internally. You think, do they want to hear my professional resume? Do they want to know my favorite color? Should I tell them about my childhood trauma? It is just way too much information to process at once.
Yes, exactly. Please leave the childhood trauma for another day, maybe for your therapist, not the water cooler at work. But that right there is the first big lesson of today's episode. We need to completely shift our mindset. When someone says, "Tell me about yourself," they're not interrogating you. It's not a test with a right or wrong answer. They're simply opening a door. It's an invitation to start a connection.
An invitation. I really like the sound of that. It frames it as an opportunity rather than a threat. It sounds way less intimidating.
Because it is. They just want a little hook, a little piece of information to start a natural conversation with you. They want to find some common ground. So today, we are going to build the perfect, stress-free introduction. We are going to take the fear out of it completely. And we are going to start with the absolute foundation, the bare basics.
The bare basics. Okay, I have my notebook ready. Where do we even start building this foundation?
We start with the most important word in any language anywhere in the world, your name.
Oh, come on, Mark. Everyone knows how to say their name. My name is Sarah. Easy. We learned that on day 1 of English class.
True. But let's talk about how native speakers actually introduce themselves in the real world. My name is perfectly fine. It is grammatically correct and it is polite. But often, in a casual setting, like a party or a casual office environment, what do we say instead?
Oh, right. We usually use a contraction. We just say, "I'm Sarah."
Exactly. Hi, I'm Mark. Hello, I'm Sarah. It's a little shorter, a little more relaxed, and it instantly makes the interaction feel friendlier. Now, here's a massive pro tip for our listeners, and it has nothing to do with grammar. When you say your name, especially if it's a name that might be new, unique, or unfamiliar to the person listening, say it clearly. Slow down just for a second, and most importantly, smile.
Oh, wow, yes. Smiling makes such a huge difference. It completely changes the tone of your voice. If you say, "I'm Sarah," while looking terrified and staring at the floor, the other person is going to feel awkward and terrified too.
Yes, emotions are highly contagious. If you project warmth, they will feel warmth. So, step 1 of the ultimate introduction, take a breath, smile, make good eye contact, and say, "Hi, I'm Mark." Boom, you have successfully started, and the hardest part is over.
Okay, step 1 is officially done. I haven't fainted yet, which is a good sign. What is step 2 in the foundation?
Step 2 is establishing your origin. Where in the world are you from? Because let's face it, Human beings are naturally curious creatures. This is usually the very next thing people want to know about you, especially if they hear a cool accent.
Right, so the classic textbook answer would be, I am from the United States.
Spot on. I am from, and then you just insert your country. I am from Brazil. I am from Japan. I am from Italy. It's a simple, beautiful, and highly effective sentence structure. But, Sarah, what if you want to be a little more specific? What if you want to mention your city instead of just your whole country?
Well, I guess I could say, I am from New York. But what if my situation is a bit more complicated? Like, what if I was born in New York, but right now I live in London? That happens to so many of our listeners, right? They move across the world for work, for university, or for love.
That is a brilliant point and a very modern, common situation. We are a global community now. This is where we get to show off a little bit of English mastery and add some real flavor to our introduction. You can smoothly separate your origin from your current location. You use two different verbs. We use the verb to be for where you are originally from, and the verb to live in for where your bags are unpacked right now.
Oh, I see. So I would put them together and say, I am from the United States, but I live in London.
Exactly. I am from tells us your history, your roots, your background. I live in tells us your current daily reality. It's a fantastic way to give a little more detail without overcomplicating the grammar.
I really love that structure. I am from Spain, but I live in Berlin. Or I am from Mexico, but I live in Toronto. It instantly makes you sound deeply interesting. The other person is immediately going to think, oh wow, why did they move to Toronto? How do they handle the snow? And boom, you have an instant, natural conversation.
You nailed it. That's exactly why we give these little extra details. We're leaving conversational breadcrumbs for the other person to follow. You're basically handing them a topic to ask you about. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's say you just want to talk about where you live right now, but you want to paint a vivid picture in the listener's mind. You don't just want to state the name of the place like a geography textbook.
Paint a picture? What do you mean by that? Like describing the weather? I live in rainy London?
Close. Weather is good, but I mean describing the overall vibe or the type of place it is. For example, instead of just saying, I live in Tokyo, which is just a fact, you could add a descriptive adjective to capture the atmosphere of your daily life.
Oh, I get it now. So Tokyo is absolutely huge and incredibly busy. I could say, I live in a big city. Or maybe I live in a busy city.
Yes, I live in a big city. It's incredibly simple, but it tells a story. It tells the listener that you're surrounded by skyscrapers, traffic, coffee shops, and millions of people. But what if you live far away from the hustle and bustle, somewhere with lots of trees, quiet streets, and maybe a local bakery where everyone knows your name?
Ah, the dream. Then I would say, I live in a small town. Or maybe I live in a quiet town.
Exactly. A big, busy city versus a quiet, small town. These adjectives are so incredibly powerful in everyday conversation. They help the listener imagine your life instantly. If you say, I live in a very busy city, the listener might immediately relate and say, oh, me too. The rush hour traffic is terrible, isn't it?
Yes. Complaining about terrible traffic is basically the universal language of people who live in big cities. It brings everyone together.
It really does. But notice what just happened there, Sarah. By adding one simple, everyday adjective, busy or quiet, you gave the other person something emotional to react to. You transformed a boring, dry fact into a highly relatable conversation starter.
That's such a good trick. It takes the pressure off me and puts the ball back in their court. So let's recap our building blocks so far. We went from a totally terrifying blank mind to a really solid, confident foundation.
Let's hear it. Let's put it all together. Imagine we just bumped into each other at a local coffee shop event, or maybe the first day of a new language workshop. I walk up to you, smile, and say, hi, I don't think we've met. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, here goes nothing. Deep breath, eye contact, smile. Hi, I'm Sarah. I am originally from the United States, But right now, I live in a very busy city in England.
Bravo! That was absolutely perfect. It was natural, it was spoken clearly, and it gave me so much valuable information without sounding like a robot reading a script off a teleprompter.
Wow, okay, you're right. That didn't feel scary at all. Once you break the giant, terrifying question down into these little manageable pieces, name, origin, location, it just feels like a simple puzzle you already know how to solve.
That right there is the ultimate secret to speaking a new language confidently. It's not about knowing every single complex word in the dictionary. It's about having a few solid, reliable, well-practiced structures that you can build on. And the name and location structure is the rock-solid concrete base of your introduction house.
The introduction house. I love that metaphor. So we just successfully built the foundation. We poured the concrete and it is solid.
We certainly did. All right, let's keep building this introduction house. Welcome back, everyone.
Yes, we have the solid foundation down. Name and location. What is the next floor of the house, Mark?
The next floor is all about your core identity in the present moment. This usually covers two big things, your age and your occupation. Let's tackle age first, because honestly, this one can actually be a bit of a cultural minefield.
Oh, definitely. In some cultures, asking someone's age immediately is super normal and just a standard way to show respect. But in others, it is a huge mistake and considered very rude.
Exactly right. In English-speaking cultures, especially in North America or the UK, it is totally fine to ask children or teenagers their age. But once you hit your 20s and beyond, it is generally safer not to ask directly unless it naturally comes up in conversation. However, many people still like to offer their age when introducing themselves in a casual setting, like a language class or a social club.
Right. If you want to share it, you absolutely can, but you don't have to. So if I want to volunteer that information, what is the absolute best way to say it without making a classic grammar mistake? Because I know there's a huge trap here for a lot of learners.
There's a massive trap. For many of our listeners who speak Spanish, French, Italian, or even Portuguese natively, the instinct is to translate their own language directly into English. In those languages, you have years.
Ah, yes. So they might naturally say, I have 25 years.
Exactly. It makes perfect logical sense in their native tongue. But in English, we do not possess our years. We are our years. We use the verb to be. So the correct and natural way is, I am 25 years old.
I am 25 years old. Got it. We are the age. We don't hold the age in our hands like an object.
That is a brilliant way to think about it. Now, to sound even more like a native speaker, you can actually drop the years old part entirely in casual everyday conversation.
Oh, really? Just say the number?
Just the number. If someone actually asks, how old are you? You can simply smile and say, I'm 25 or I'm 32. It is short, sweet, and perfectly natural. You don't need the full formal sentence every single time.
I love that. I'm 25. It feels a lot less formal and much more conversational. Okay, so age is simple once you remember the to be verb, but what about the really big question, the one that defines so much of our daily lives? What do you do?
Ah, yes. What do you do? First, let's look at the question itself. Notice that people rarely ask, what is your job?
You know, you are totally right. Hearing, what is your job, sounds a little bit aggressive, like a police officer asking for my details at a checkpoint.
Yes, it sounds very rigid and transactional. What do you do is softer. It's wide open. It implies, what do you do with your time, or what do you do for a living? Now, the formula to answer this is incredibly simple, but you have to remember one tiny, very important word, the article.
The article? You mean a or an?
Bingo. In English, you cannot just say, I am teacher. You must say, I am a teacher. Or if the job title starts with a vowel sound, I am an engineer.
Right. I am a doctor. I am an artist. It feels like such a small detail, but skipping that little a or an really stands out to native speakers, doesn't it?
It really does. It's one of those tiny grammar glue words that holds the English sentence together. So, Sarah, let's practice this in real time. What do you do?
Well, in our little podcast role play world here, I am an art student, so I would say I am a student.
Perfect. But just like when we talked about living in a big city versus a small town in part 1, just stating the basic title is a bit dry. We want to keep the conversation moving and interesting. How can you add a little more flavor to I am a student?
I guess I could tell you exactly what I'm studying. So I could say, I am a student, I study art.
Excellent. And we can link those together smoothly. I am an art student, or I am a student and I study art. Now, let's add some genuine feeling to it. Why do you study art? How does it actually make you feel day to day?
Well, I absolutely love it. I love to draw and paint. It's very creative. So I could say, I am an art student. I love it because it is very fun and creative.
Boom. Do you see what you just did right there? You didn't just give me a resume bullet point. You gave me a piece of your personality. If you tell me your studies are fun and creative, you're showing me that you're a passionate, expressive person.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize I was doing that. But you're totally right. If I just rigidly said, I am a student, the conversation might just stop there. It's a dead end. But by adding that I love to draw, the other person can jump right in and say, oh, what kind of things do you draw? Portraits? Landscapes?
Exactly. You're building bridges. Let's try it with a standard job. I'll go. I am an English teacher. That's the basic, boring fact. Now, let me add some flavor and texture. I'm an English teacher. I love my job because I get to help people from all over the world.
That is so wonderful, and it rings true. It tells me that you're helpful, empathetic, and that you enjoy connecting with people globally.
But Mark, what if someone has a job that maybe isn't their absolute dream passion? Like what if someone is a data entry clerk or an accountant, and it's just a normal, everyday job to pay the bills?
That's a fantastic question because real life isn't always a cinematic movie where everyone is a painter or a rock star. You can still describe the nature of the work without pretending it's your life's greatest passion. You could say, I am an accountant. It's a very busy job, but I like working with numbers. Or I work in retail. It's fast-paced, and I talk to a lot of different people every day.
Ah, I see. You're using those great descriptive adjectives again. Busy, fast-paced, challenging. It gives real texture to the job, even if it's just a regular 9 to 5.
Precisely. Texture. I love that word for this concept. Now, what if someone listening right now doesn't have a traditional corporate job? Maybe they're taking care of their family full-time, or maybe they're actively looking for work. This is a very common situation where people tend to panic during introductions.
Oh, definitely. If someone asks, what do you do, and you're currently unemployed, it can feel so awkward or embarrassing to answer. Your mind just goes blank.
It shouldn't be embarrassing at all, but I completely understand the anxiety. Let's give our listeners the exact tools to handle this gracefully and confidently. If you take care of your home and kids, you don't say nothing. You say with pride, I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I'm a stay-at-home dad. Believe me, it's a massive job.
Absolutely. It's probably the hardest job in the world. And what if they're between jobs and looking for something new?
The absolute best phrase to use is currently looking. You can say, I am currently looking for work in marketing, or I'm between jobs right now, but I'm exploring new opportunities. It sounds active, positive, and forward-moving. It doesn't sound like a failure. It sounds like a transition.
Exploring new opportunities. That sounds so incredibly professional and optimistic. I'm writing that down right now. It totally changes the vibe of the conversation.
It's all about framing. You want to present yourself in the best possible light, no matter what your current situation is.
So let's recap this second floor of our introduction house. We have age, remembering to use the verb to be, and we have occupation, making sure to use our articles, or un, and adding a little bit of texture or feeling to describe our days.
Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm going to put the first floor and the second floor together.
Let's do it. Imagine we're at a networking event for creative people in London. I walk up with a cup of coffee. Hi there. Tell me about yourself. The floor is yours, Sarah.
Deep breath, smile, eye contact. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm originally from the United States, but I live in a very busy city in England. I'm 25, I'm an art student, and I absolutely love it because it is so fun and creative.
Flawless. 10 out of 10. That is a brilliant, complete, and highly engaging introduction. You sound friendly, you sound deeply interesting, and your grammar was absolutely perfect. If I heard that, I would immediately want to know more about your art and how you're handling the busy English city life.
Hi, thank you. I honestly feel so much more confident already. Just having these little formulas in my head takes away all the panic. I don't have to invent a whole new speech every single time I meet someone new.
That is the beautiful secret of language strategy. You build the framework, you memorize the structure, and then you just swap out the vocabulary words to fit your specific life. But Sarah, don't get too comfortable. We are not done yet.
We're not? I thought we built a pretty solid house already. I have a name, a location, an age, and a career.
We built the main rooms, yes, but we haven't invited anyone inside yet. What is the one topic that people love to talk about even more than their jobs?
Oh, their families? Or wait, their pets. People are obsessed with their pets.
Exactly, the inner circle. When you want to take an introduction from just polite professional small talk to a real, warm human connection, you bring up the people and the animals that you love.
Oh, I can't wait for this. Talking about family can get a bit confusing with all the brothers, sisters, older, younger vocabulary. And I really, really want to talk about my cat.
We will definitely make time to talk about your cat. We're going to master family trees, sibling comparisons, and pet personalities in the very next part. Listeners, practice your first 2 floors out loud, and we'll see you right back here as we open the door to the inner circle.
Welcome back, everyone. We are so glad you are still here with us. If you are just jumping in, Mark and I are actively building what we call the introduction house, so you never have to freeze up when someone says, "Tell me about yourself."
That's right. We have already poured the concrete foundation with your name and location, and we built the walls with your age and your occupation. Now it is time to put some furniture in this house and make it feel like a real home.
I love that, making it feel like a home. Because honestly, Mark, as proud as I am of being an art student, it is not my entire personality. When I really want to connect with someone, I don't want to just talk about school or work all day.
Exactly. And the people you are talking to feel the exact same way. Work and studies are great professional icebreakers, but they're generally pretty logical topics. If you want to move a conversation from the logical brain to the emotional brain, you bring up the inner circle.
The inner circle. So we are talking about family, partners, kids, and of course, our pets.
You got it. Sharing a small detail about your family or a funny story about your dog instantly lowers the walls between 2 strangers. It shows vulnerability and warmth. But before we dive into the fun part, let's talk about the natural transition. You don't want to just jump from your job directly into your family tree without a bridge. It sounds a bit robotic.
Oh, right. I am an accountant. I have 2 brothers. That does sound a little bit like a robot reading a list of facts. How do we make that sound smooth and natural?
You use conversational bridges. If you just finished talking about your job, you can use a simple phrase like outside of work or when I'm not studying. This signals to the listener that you are changing the topic from professional life to personal life.
Outside of work? I really like that. It creates a very clear boundary. I'm an accountant, but outside of work, I spend a lot of time with my family. That flows beautifully.
It does. Now, let's get into the most common question people ask about family. Do you have any brothers or sisters? Or the slightly more formal way to ask it, do you have any siblings?
Ah, siblings. That is a great vocabulary word. It just means brothers and sisters combined. So if I want to answer that, I would say, yes, I have 1 brother.
Perfect. But let's add that flavor we talked about in part 2. The very next question in anyone's mind is usually about birth order. Are they older or younger than you? And this, Sarah, is where a lot of our English learners fall into a very common grammar trap.
Oh no, another trap. Let me guess. It has to do with the word more?
Spot on. In many languages, you say more old or more big, but in English, for short adjectives like old, young, tall, or short, we have to add the magical ER to the end of the word. We don't say more old, we say older.
Right, older and younger. So instead of just saying, I have a brother, I can give the listener a much better picture by saying, I have an older brother.
Exactly. And if you want to compare him directly to yourself in a full sentence, you use the word than. He is older than me.
He is older than me. Got it. Actually, Mark, I do have an older brother in real life. His name is Tom.
Ah, brilliant. Let's bring Tom into the conversation. How much older is he?
He's 29, so since I'm 25, I can say he is 4 years older than me.
Flawless grammar. He is 4 years older than me. And notice how naturally that flowed. By just mentioning Tom's age, you gave me a clear picture of your family dynamic. Now, what about you, Mark? Do you have any brothers or sisters? I do. I have one sister. Her name is Sarah, actually.
No way! That is a beautiful name, obviously. Is she older or younger?
She is younger than me. And to connect it back to our earlier lesson, she's actually a student just like you. She studies music. She plays the piano.
Wow, a music student and an art student. Your family sounds incredibly creative.
Thank you. We definitely try to be. And that's another fantastic strategy for introducing your family. Don't just list their names and ages like a census form. Mention what they do. It recycles the vocabulary we learned in Part 2 and gives the listener even more conversation starters.
That is so true, because when you said she plays the piano, my immediate instinct was to ask what kind of music she plays. The conversation just keeps naturally moving forward without any awkward silences.
Exactly. You're feeding the conversation. Now, let's talk about parents. A very common follow-up question when getting to know someone is, what do your parents do?
Right, and I can use the exact same formulas we learned for our own jobs. So I can say, my mother is a teacher.
Yes, don't forget that crucial article. My mother is a teacher. What does she teach?
She teaches little children. She's a kindergarten teacher. It's a very important but very exhausting job.
I can only imagine. And what about your father?
My father is a chef. He works in a really busy restaurant in the city center.
Oh, wow, a chef. That's amazing. The first thing that pops into my head is, does he cook for you at home? Because if so, I'm incredibly jealous.
Yes, he does. The food in our house is always absolutely delicious. Sundays are the best because he makes huge family dinners.
Okay, listeners, I want you to pause and analyze what Sarah just did. She took a basic fact, my father is a chef, and she added an emotional descriptive outcome to it. The food in our house is always delicious. She painted a picture of her Sunday family dinners. That's masterclass level small talk.
Oh, thank you. It really does feel much more natural when you just share the reality of your life, rather than just the dictionary facts. But Mark, we are missing a very, very important part of the family. The most important part for some people.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this. The furry family members, pets.
Yes, pets. Honestly, if I'm at a party and I'm feeling a little shy, the easiest way to get me talking is to ask if I have a pet. People love talking about their animals.
It's the ultimate universal icebreaker. It immediately shifts the energy of the conversation to something pure, happy, and lighthearted. So, Sarah, the big question, are you a dog person or a cat person?
Oh, I'm 100% a cat person. I have a beautiful cat named Luna.
Luna, that's a lovely name. See, right there, we're using adjectives again. Beautiful. What does Luna look like?
She's black and white, and if I had to describe her personality, I would say she's very quiet, very independent, and mostly very sleepy. She sleeps basically all day in the sun.
A sleepy, independent cat. That sounds like a very peaceful roommate to have. Now notice the adjectives Sarah used. They're completely different from the words we use to describe jobs. Quiet, sleepy, independent. Learning a few personality adjectives for your pets is a great way to expand your vocabulary.
It really is, and it makes the story so much cuter. What about you, Mark? You strike me as a dog person.
You guessed it, I'm definitely a dog person. I have a dog named Max.
Oh, Max, I love that. What kind of dog is he?
He's a mix, but he's mostly just a small, brown, incredibly happy ball of energy. If Luna is sleepy and independent, Max is the exact opposite. He's very friendly, very loyal, and honestly, a little bit funny. He does the silliest things when he wants attention.
Friendly, loyal, and funny. See, I already feel like I know Max. And notice how our energy just completely shifted? We're both smiling and laughing just talking about our pets. It completely erases that stiff, nervous feeling of a formal introduction.
That's the magic of the inner circle. When you share the things you love, your face naturally lights up, your tone of voice changes, you stop worrying so much about perfect grammar because you're focused on the emotion of the story.
That is such a profound point. The emotion carries the conversation, not just the grammar. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the inner circle floor of our introduction house.
Let's do it. We learned the conversational bridge outside of work. We mastered the ER rule for comparing siblings with older and younger. We practiced using job formulas for our parents. And finally, we used descriptive personality adjectives for our pets.
This introduction is getting so rich and detailed. I feel like if I met someone and told my name, my busy city, my art studies, my older brother Tom, and my sleepy cat Luna, we'd practically be best friends already.
You're basically a fully open book at this point. But believe it or not, there's one more floor to build. The top floor, and this one is my absolute favorite because it's where you get to show your true, unfiltered personality.
Oh, what's the top floor?
The top floor is passions and pet peeves. It's the things you absolutely love to do on a Saturday afternoon, and the things that drive you completely crazy. It's your favorite foods, your weekend hobbies, and your biggest dislikes.
Oh, I have a lot of dislikes to talk about. Waiting in line, waking up early, I'm ready to complain a little bit.
Haha, exactly. And complaining together is actually a brilliant way to bond in English. So, listeners, get your favorite hobbies and your biggest annoyances ready because we're diving into passions and pet peeves in part 4.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you are just joining our English Leap podcast marathon today, you have missed some serious construction work. We are building the ultimate introduction house, so you never ever have to panic when someone says, "Tell me about yourself."
That is exactly right. We have a rock-solid foundation with your name and location. We built the walls with your age and your occupation. And we even moved some furniture in by talking about your inner circle, your family, and your pets.
Which, by the way, was my favorite part so far. Talking about my sleepy cat, Luna, and your energetic dog, Max, instantly made me feel 100 times more relaxed.
And that is exactly why we do it. Small talk is not supposed to be a stressful exam. It is simply a way to find a connection. But Sarah, our house is missing a roof. We need the top floor. We need the final layer that makes you, well, you.
The top floor. You called this the passions and pet peeves floor before the break. I am so ready for this. We are finally going to talk about the things we actually enjoy doing.
Exactly. Passions are the things that light you up. Your favorite foods, your colors, your weekend hobbies. And pet peeves are the things that slightly annoy you, your dislikes. Believe it or not, sharing what you do not like is sometimes the fastest way to make a new friend in English.
Oh, I believe it. Bonding over something annoying is a classic human experience. But let's start with the positive stuff first. Let's start with the most universal, safe, and universally loved topic on planet Earth, food.
Yes, food is the ultimate equalizer. Every single culture in the world loves to talk about food. If you are ever stuck in a conversation and the silence is getting a little bit awkward, just ask, "What is your favorite food?" Boom, conversation saved.
It really is a lifesaver. Okay, Mark, I am putting you on the spot. What is your absolute favorite food? And you cannot just say everything. You have to choose.
Oh man, this is actually the hardest question of the day. I like so many different things. Okay, if I have to choose just one, I think my favorite food is pizza.
Pizza. A fantastic choice. Honestly, I don't trust people who don't like pizza. But pizza is a very broad category. What kind of pizza do you like? Are you a pineapple on pizza kind of guy? Because that might end our friendship right here.
No, my friendship is safe. I am not a pineapple guy. I actually really love vegetable pizza, with fresh tomatoes, queen peppers, and lots of onions.
Oh, wow, that actually sounds really healthy and delicious. You managed to take a junk food and make it sound like a salad. I respect that.
Thank you. I try my best. And what about you, Sarah? Is pizza your favorite food too?
It is definitely high on the list. I'm a classic pepperoni pizza girl myself. But if we're talking about my absolute #1 favorite food in the whole world, it has to be pasta.
Ah, pasta. Another brilliant choice. Very yummy, very comforting. Now, listeners, I want you to notice what just happened there. Sarah and I just had a totally natural 1-minute conversation entirely based on the phrase, I like and my favorite is.
Right. It's incredibly simple grammar. Present simple tense. I like vegetable pizza. I love pasta. We learned this in our very first month of studying English.
Exactly. You do not need complicated grammar to have a deep or engaging conversation. You just need to be willing to share a detail and ask a follow-up question. Sarah didn't just accept my answer of pizza. She asked, what kind of pizza? That's how you keep the ball bouncing back and forth.
What kind of? That is such a useful phrase. What kind of music? What kind of movies? What kind of food? I'm going to underline that in my notes. Okay, what is the next passion we should talk about?
Let's talk about something that sounds like a question for children, but is actually deeply revealing for adults. Favorite colors.
Oh, I love this. I feel like adults stop asking each other about favorite colors, and it's such a shame. It tells you so much about a person's vibe.
It really does. So what is your favorite color, Sarah?
My favorite color is green, 100%. Green like the trees, the grass in a garden, just the color of nature. It makes me feel grounded.
That makes perfect sense for you. You're an art student, you love nature, you appreciate creativity. Green is a perfect fit.
Thank you. What about you, Mark? Let me guess. You're a teacher, you're very calm, very organized. Are you a blue person?
Wow, you are a mind reader. Yes, my favorite color is absolutely blue. I love it because it reminds me of a clear blue sky. It's a very nice, calm color.
A blue sky and green grass. Look at us. We are a perfect landscape painting together.
We really are. And again, the strategy here is not just saying the single word blue or green. It's adding the reason. I like blue because it's calm. I like green because it reminds me of nature. That extra sentence is the secret to sounding fluent and confident.
It adds the why. People are always interested in the why. Okay, so we have food and colors. What about free time? How do native speakers naturally ask about hobbies? Because honestly, if someone walks up to me at a party and says, "What are your hobbies?" it sounds a little bit like a job interview.
That's a fantastic point. What are your hobbies is perfectly correct, but it sounds a tiny bit textbook. In the real world, native speakers usually use much more casual phrases. They'll say, "What do you do for fun?" or "What do you like to do in your free time?" or even, "What do you get up to on the weekends?"
What do you do for fun? I love that. It immediately takes the pressure off. It doesn't have to be a serious, organized hobby like collecting rare stamps. It can just be watching TV or sleeping.
Exactly. So, Sarah, you're a busy art student. What do you do for fun when you actually have some free time?
Well, since I'm an art student, my biggest hobby is actually still painting. I know it sounds like I just do my homework for fun, but I really do paint every single weekend. It helps me relax completely. My brain just turns off.
That's wonderful. It helps me relax. A brilliant phrase to explain why you enjoy something. What else do you like to do?
I'm also a huge reader. I love to read books. Specifically, I love adventure stories. Escaping into a totally different world is just the best feeling.
Reading is a fantastic hobby. And again, you gave me the specific genre, adventure stories. That gives me a perfect hook to ask you about your favorite authors later. What about me? Take a guess at what I do for fun.
Well, you have an energetic dog, Max, so you must be active. Do you play sports?
Spot on. I have a few hobbies, but I really love playing sports. I play soccer with a group of friends every Saturday morning. It's a great way to stay active, run around, and just laugh with my friends.
Wow, you're very active. I would probably be the person sitting on the grass watching you guys and reading my book. Do you do anything a bit more relaxing?
I definitely do. I'm a huge music fan. I love listening to rock music, especially older classic rock. And I also love watching movies.
Ooh, what kind of movies? Wait, let me practice my phrase. What kind of movies do you like to watch?
Perfect execution. I'm a big fan of comedy movies. I just love to laugh. My job can be serious sometimes, so on the weekends, I just want to watch something silly. I also really appreciate beautifully animated movies. There's so much incredible imagination in animation.
Imagination. That's a great word. So if we look at our hobbies, it tells a real story. I'm relaxed, I like quiet things like reading and painting. You're energetic, you like loud rock music, running around, playing soccer, and laughing at comedies. We're learning so much about each other right now.
We are. It's like we're answering the giant "tell me about yourself" question, but we're doing it naturally, piece by piece, over a cup of coffee.
Exactly. Okay, Mark, I think it's time. We've been so positive. We talked about delicious pizza, calming blue skies, and fun weekends. It's time for the dark side of the introduction house, the pet peeves.
The dark side. Yes, let's talk about things we absolutely do not like. This is such a powerful secret tool in conversation. When you share a minor annoyance with someone and they agree with you, it creates an instant bond. It's called building rapport.
Rapport. Yes, it feels like an inside joke. So how do we introduce this without sounding totally negative and miserable?
The key is to keep it light and relatable. Don't complain about something deeply controversial or heavy. Complain about silly, everyday human struggles. Let's start with food again. What is a food that you just cannot stand?
Oh, this is easy. I do not like spicy food, like very, very hot food. If my mouth is on fire, I am not having a good time. A little bit of spice is okay, but if I'm sweating while eating dinner, no thank you.
Haha, no thank you is the perfect polite way to reject something. See, that's a great relatable dislike. For me, my food enemy is the olive. I do not like olives at all.
What? You don't like olives? But they're so good. They're salty and perfect.
See, we're different again. I just cannot stand the taste. If a single olive touches my pizza, the whole slice is ruined for me.
Oh, wow. You are strictly a vegetable pizza guy. 0 olives allowed. Good to know. Okay, what about an everyday...
Hello, and welcome back to the grand finale of our English Leap Podcast special. If you have been with us since part 1, give yourself a massive pat on the back. You have officially graduated from the terrifying blank mind stage of introducing yourself.
Yes, we have built the ultimate introduction house. We have the foundation, the walls, the furniture, and the roof. We have our names, our locations, our jobs, our families, our pets, our favorite pizza toppings, and our hatred of early morning alarm clocks. I feel like an absolute expert now.
You are an expert, Sarah. But now we have to talk about the most common mistake that even advanced English speakers make when they finally feel confident. It is a mistake I like to call the information dump.
The information dump. Oh no, that sounds like a terrible, terrible conversational disaster. What exactly is it?
The information dump is what happens when you memorize your entire introduction house, every single room and piece of furniture, and then you just throw all of it at the other person without stopping for a single breath.
Oh, I see. Like a massive monologue. Hi, my name is Sarah. I am from the US but live in a busy city. I am 25. I am an art student. I have an older brother named Tom, a sleepy cat named Luna. I love pasta and green, and I hate spicy food and waking up early. Nice to meet you.
Exactly. Imagine being on the receiving end of that. It is completely overwhelming. The poor listener is just standing there thinking, wow, okay, do I ask about the cat, the brother, the pasta, the art? You have given them too many options, and worse, you didn't leave any room for a natural back-and-forth rhythm.
Right. It feels more like a theatrical performance than a real human connection. You are just talking at them, not with them. So, how do we fix that? How do we know which parts of our beautiful house to actually show people?
We use the golden rule of communication, context. You have to read the room. You have to ask yourself, where am I right now and who am I talking to? You don't need to say everything at one time. In fact, a great introduction is usually just 2 or 3 carefully chosen sentences.
2 or 3 sentences. That is such a relief. Okay, so let's play a game, Mark. Let's do some role play scenarios. Give me a specific context, and I will try to build the perfect, customized introduction just for that moment.
I love this idea. Okay, scenario number 1. You're at a casual weekend party. A friend of a friend walks up to you holding a plate of food. There's loud music playing in the background. They smile and say, "Hey, I don't think we've met. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Which building blocks do you choose?"
Well, it's a party. People are relaxed, they want to have fun. They probably don't want a heavy, serious breakdown of my career goals. So I'll choose my name, my job with a fun twist, and a passion.
Perfect strategy. Let's hear it in action.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm an art student, which basically means I spend most of my time painting and drinking way too much coffee. When I'm not covered in paint, I love hanging out with my incredibly sleepy cat, Luna.
Wow, 10 out of 10, Sarah. That was absolutely brilliant. Let's break down why that worked so perfectly. First, you kept it super casual. You used the contraction I'm. Second, you made a little joke about your studies and drinking coffee, which is highly relatable. And third, you ended with a funny visual, a sleepy cat.
Thank you. And by ending with Luna, I'm basically handing them a perfect conversation starter. They can immediately say, "Oh, I have a cat too," or "I'm more of a dog person." The conversation just flows naturally from there.
Exactly. You open the door for them. Now let's switch gears completely. Scenario number 2. You're walking into a brand new English language school. It's your very first day. The classroom is quiet. Everyone is sitting at their desks looking a little nervous. And the teacher says, "Okay, everyone, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves." What do?
Oh, the dreaded classroom circle. Okay, the context is totally different here. It's an educational setting. People are here to learn. So talking about my cat might be a bit random. I think I need to use my origin, my job, and my reason for being there.
Spot on. The reason is a fantastic addition for a classroom. Let's hear your classroom introduction.
Deep breath. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah. I am originally from the United States, but I just moved to this very busy city. I am currently an art student, and I'm taking this class because I really want to improve my confidence when speaking to new people.
Flawless. It's professional, it's clear, it's respectful of the classroom environment, and it's deeply authentic. When you say, "I want to improve my confidence," you're showing vulnerability. Instantly, every other student in that room who's also feeling nervous is going to connect with you. They're going to think, "Me too, Sarah, me too."
It's so amazing how just changing a few simple words completely changes the entire feeling of the introduction. It really proves that "tell me about yourself" is not a scary interrogation at all. It's literally just an invitation to share a tiny piece of your world.
That is the most beautiful way to think about it. It's an invitation. When someone asks you that question, they're actively saying, "I want to know you better." They're handing you a gift. You just have to unwrap it slowly.
Unwrap it slowly. I'm going to remember that forever. Don't throw the whole house at them. Just invite them into the living room first.
Exactly. So let's do a massive rapid-fire recap of all the formulas we've learned across these 5 episodes. Listeners, grab your pens if you haven't already.
Okay, starting from the very bottom, the foundation. Instead of a formal "my name is," we can say a friendly "Hi, I'm."
Correct. Then, for origin and location, we use the magic combination. I'm from country, but I live in city. And we remember to add texture. A big city, a quiet town, a beautiful village.
Next floor up, core identity. When talking about age, we never have years, we are our years. I'm 25, or simply, I'm 25.
Yes, and for our occupations, we never forget the tiny but mighty articles a and an. I'm a teacher, I'm an engineer, and we add a because to show our passion. I'm a teacher because I love helping people. Or if we're looking for work, I'm currently looking for new opportunities.
Moving to the inner circle. To smoothly transition, we use the bridge, outside of work. We use older and younger with the ER ending for our siblings, and we give our pets some real personality with adjectives like friendly, sleepy, or loyal.
And finally, the top floor, passions and pet peeves. We use my favorite is to talk about foods and colors. We use I love to or I like to talk about what we do for fun on the weekends. And we use I do not like to gently complain about things like waiting in line or waking up entirely too early.
And the ultimate golden rule, context. We pick and choose these pieces based on whether we're at a loud party, a quiet classroom, or a busy office. Mark, this has been an incredibly successful masterclass. I honestly feel like a new person.
I'm so glad to hear that, Sarah. And I know our listeners are feeling the exact same way. But listening is only 50% of learning a language.
Oh no, here it comes. I know exactly what you're going to say.
You know it. It's time for the other 50%. It's time for action. It's time for homework and practice.
Yes, we cannot just let you guys listen and walk away. You have to actually use these new tools in the real world. You have to build that muscle memory.
Absolutely. So here's our special challenge for every single amazing person listening to this podcast right now. We want to meet you. We want to know who is on the other side of the screen listening to our voices.
Yes, please. Go down to the comment section below this video right now. Your homework is to write a short, natural introduction using the exact formulas we taught you today.
We don't want the information dump, so keep it to just 2 or 3 sentences. Tell us your name, where you're from, and then pick one extra thing. You can tell us your job, your favorite hobby, or even your biggest pet peeve.
For example, you can write, "Hi, I'm David. I'm from Mexico, but I live in a quiet town in Canada. I'm an engineer, and my favorite thing to do on the weekend is watch comedy movies."
Or you could write, "Hello, I'm Maria. I'm a stay-at-home mom from Italy. I have a very friendly dog, and I absolutely do not like waking up early."
Whatever you want to share, we want to read it. We'll be down in the comments replying to as many of you as we possibly can. It's going to be so much fun to see all the different countries, jobs, and funny dislikes.
It really will be. This community is what makes teaching English so incredibly rewarding. So please do your homework. Be brave, step out of your comfort zone, and introduce yourself to the world.
And before we officially say goodbye, we have one tiny little favor to ask. Building this introduction house took a lot of hard work. So if you found this 5-part series helpful, if it made you smile, or if it made you feel even a tiny bit more confident,
please hit that subscribe button. Give this episode a giant thumbs up and hit the notification bell so you never miss a future lesson. It genuinely helps our channel grow and allows us to keep making free, high-quality English content for you every single week.
And if you have a friend, a family member, or a coworker who always freezes up when someone asks them, "Tell me about yourself," share this podcast with them. Send them the link. Let's help everyone get rid of that small talk anxiety together.
That's a wonderful idea. Well, Sarah, I think our